Milwaukee is many things to many different people. It is very beautiful, and it is also a hard-working, motorcycle-loving community. But there is one thing I'm sure many people don't think Milwaukee is, and that's a farming town. There's a small, urban farm nestled in the middle of our bustling city called Growing Power, dedicated to teaching along with providing fresh from the farm goodness. One of Growing Power's main objectives is to teach the community different ways to be self-sufficient or sustained. In a time when diversity is abundant but not always embraced, Growing Power is looking to bring together a community and embrace that diversity. Growing Power is not just an urban farm, it is a beacon of hope in our highly diverse society. Growing Power was founded by Will Allen. He sees Growing Power as a land trust supporting people from diverse backgrounds and the environment in which they live by helping to provide equal access to healthy, high quality, safe, and affordable food for people in all communities. For me, it hasn't been moving potted plants from one of the 14 greenhouses to another, or working with a highly advanced hydroponic system that has intrigued me the most. What's had the greatest impact on me has been the type of people and the different reasons people come to either work or volunteer at Growing Power. One wouldn't necessarily think that a farm set down in the middle of a city would be teaching acceptance or community teamwork through simple farming tasks, but that is exactly what Growing Power is doing on a daily basis. The task that Growing Power has set out to tackle is the teaching of sustainability through the use of relatively simple ideas. With our society relying so much on large companies to feed the masses, Growing Power has set out with the hopes of bringing wholesome, homegrown goodness to not just a local community, but to an entire city. With so much of our everyday food being processed and then reprocessed in large factories and plants, much of the nutritional value is lost through this process. Growing Power has hopes of bringing simple farming practices to an immediate, local area and providing sustenance to sometimes underprivileged people. With our society relying so heavily on large companies to supply our food needs, there may possibly come a time when those needs simply cannot be met. With the area the Growing Power is located being a lower income community, the techniques they practice may very well be able to teach a community of people simple skills to possibly provide for themselves one day. Growing Power also lives by the mantra of reusing everything they can for as long as possible. A simple cardboard box does not lose purpose once it is emptied of its contents. It is then broken down with other organic material and used for different planting purposes. Our society has created our need to be carried by large corporations, but Growing Power is a shining light with hopes of showing us some of the tools needed to get free. This reliance is not simply a local dilemma. It is one that is felt all over the world. Being able to provide for oneself used to be something so many people did on a daily basis. Now, with everyone's need to be streamlined and cost effective, many simple techniques have been lost. The issue is very local simply because of the location of Growing Power. It is working to provide the city it is located in with fresh, organic, and most importantly, local goods. Growing Power is attempting to tackle an issue that the entire world could benefit from. The piles of wood chips that are strewn throughout the property are not your average wood chips. The piles of compost and soil are not your average dirt piles. They are piles of recycled goods that have come as byproducts from other projects on the farm. Much of the soil used for planting is laced with worm and goat castings. It's simple techniques like this, the use and reuse of simple items so many people don't even think about, that will help lead our society into our next chapters. By teaching sustainability to the people you help feed, you are enabling a society to prosper. It's like the old saying says, if you give a man a fish, you will feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Becoming more self-reliant is a trait that could only bring about positivity and communal teamwork. There are some limitations to what growing power can do, though. It cannot provide for an entire city. In order to make a difference, the people it serves need to embrace the ideas and move forward with them on their own. More agencies and more awareness needs to be brought about in order to create a society that requires less from their environment in a toxic manner and relies more on the environment for positive sustainability.
You know, well, I'm a chicken fried and cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.